Yep, it's Friday again, folks. Back in the town hall of Metagame. It's me, Metagamer Bogey, and I'm here with my broski Co.
Hey everyone.
We chillin'. Event actually hasn't started yet, but I like to be early because better than being late.
Gotta foster that community.
It's Friday calls, man. Say the vibe, diggity. But nah, for real, it's vibes. We got a pretty interesting triple head Hydra type call today. We've got Coordinape, Factory Dao, and Refi Spring. We've got three homies from three really chill homies, I might add, coming up
I'm,
hopefully
I'm really
today.
I'm really interested to see where this goes today, especially with the starting of ETH Denver. Should
Yeah,
should be very interesting.
absolutely. I completely agree. Like, eat Denver starting. I didn't realize it was 9 days, bro.
Yeah, I believe it's till March 4th.
Wow. And NFT Paris is happening as well right now. Holy mackerel.
Currently, yeah.
Jeez. It's all happening
And then NFT
now.
NYC, I believe, is April 10th, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay. Man, I'm really intrigued. I haven't really asked Pete about MF3 since it's been like a couple weeks now. But there's something I need to get done for that, or I want to get done for that. Just need to finish it now. Something I started.
Oh,
It's
for
like a little,
Manifest 3?
yeah, bro, for MF3, man.
Yeah, definitely. When is
Yeah,
when is MF3?
I believe it's August sometime. I think from the 18th
Oh
to
wow.
20 something.
Can't
Yeah,
wait.
couple. Yeah, bro. It's gonna be a flex. Dude, I'm so stoked, man.
Yeah, definitely need to get a jump start on that.
Yeah. What's up,
Hey,
Cammy?
Kimmy.
Welcome. Just bombarded you. Happy Friday, Cammy.
Hello,
What up?
Friday.
Hello.
What's up?
Oh, man, I'm chilling. Yeah. Yeah, me and Co's just talking about MFS 3. Like, what's happening? What's going on? Like, just trying to get excited by
Okay.
it.
Yeah, we should really start. ETH Argentina is pretty much the same date, and they've already started doing some good marketing.
Oh, nice.
We should probably
Okay.
start creating some hype,
Yeah.
especially because it's in Croatia and not even the capital. So we need to show that it's worth the trip.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so I need my passport by then.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
Good point.
Need my passport
Yeah.
ASAP.
Mason
Yeah.
made a bot that makes it super easy to use, did a thing. But yeah,
Nice.
needs to be yeah, needs to be added.
Yeah.
What was the issue with? Oh, okay. What's up, Aperion? Welcome.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Hello.
Yeah, my broski. What's going
we
on?
crushing it in the metaverse today.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Obliterating it.
Getting our game on, our community. Game on.
Community Call Friday, yeah.
It's about to get
Yeah.
meta in this game.
I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, but the guy from Factory Dao and from Coordinape were hyping each other up so much about being together today
I
I
was
love it.
in the
sick.
call.
That's what's up.
It was
Nice.
great.
I'm so excited. Hey, we got
Yeah.
three guests today, man. Holy crow. I don't even know if
Yes.
we've got enough time. Like,
On
obviously we have enough time, but
on the day of ETH Denver opening session.
yeah. Day one of ETH Denver, we got the three-headed awesome beast of, Web3 dApps and tools, and I'm excited, especially to hear from Refi Spring. I wanna hear what they got to say. I'm really intrigued. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, and Coordinape and Factory Dao. Like, I had a little glance at their websites today, and I like what I see. You know, and it's really, 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 really good stuff. Good projects.
I was just looking at MetaBuilder's post on Twitter about MetaFam.
Oh yeah.
It's got a good 200 something views.
Ooh. Nice.
Or sorry, 500.
Oh, that's even better. Holy crap. Wow.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
Now it's 511.
What? It's growing. Can't be contained.
Carry on. Are you on the ground?
It's too
Denver?
awesome. I'm not sure. I don't think Ape's going this year.
No, I thought he was going.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Could have swore it. I think he was sad that we weren't going to be there. But now
Right.
Masashi and some other people are going to be there, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that should be sweet, man.
Ooh.
Welcome, Disbullock. Welcome, Rika.
Yo, happy Friday.
Hello,
Wait.
hello.
There
Hi.
it is. Oh, sweet. Someone started it for me. Lovely. Thank you. So long. But yes, it's Friday. Hey, Nick. How you doing? Welcome.
How's everyone?
Doing
Hey,
well,
Nick.
thanks. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad it's Friday.
Me too.
TGI Friday. Yeah, good job.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's time to get down to business.
So yeah, like normally on Fridays, I mean, we just started a minute ago, but the first 15 minutes is, like icebreaker time, chill. It's like chill. And then we're obviously waiting for more people to get here and stuff. And then we'll start in like 14 minutes or so. Yeah.
Sounds great, man. Okay.
What up, DeFi Glenn? Welcome. Also, Zaku, howdy do? Welcome to the chat.
There.
How's it going?
It is going just fine.
Oh,
It's
I like
just
to hear that. Hey. Ooh.
I mean, I was I was going to say I was summoning music.
That
It's
was a
good to
vibe.
hear.
Up Kryptonite, welcome.
Man, what a full house today. Gee.
I know, right?
it's the Friday before Youth Denver.
That's true.
People
That's
are-
true.
But Denver
Eve.
open today. Is it just registrations and
I know it's Biddle Week, and so there
Yeah.
have been people there, but it's like people start. I'm flying tomorrow,
yeah?
and
Nice.
people start sort of arriving today. I know. I'm looking at the weather. It's 3 degrees. I live in
Oh.
Costa Rica, and I'm like,
Oh,
I don't. I'm gonna have to shop at the airport to leave. I don't even have any pants.
Yeah, man. 2 words. Under Armour.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. The cold gear. You're gonna need that.
But my experience
Absolutely.
with Denver, which was like 25 years ago, was that it was snowy, but it wasn't cold.
It's
I know
also very
cold.
dry
Yeah.
there as well. Yeah, I was actually making a sad decision on what shirts to bring, and I was like, Coordinape, you're such an amazing shirt, like the one from last year with the red and like the mycelial mat on the face of it. Ugh, such a sick shirt. But I can only bring so many, you know?
Yeah, I know. I wish we had I wish we had leaned into that more. I thought those were like killer shirts. I really like that mycelium map one too. Well, wait till you see our new ones with the new branding. They're gonna be pretty dope as well. But
so I'll still get to
super
wear a Coordinape
exclusive.
shirt. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, if you find me if you find me in time, we don't have that many. So Alpha Week, I guess.
That's right. Well, we'll probably be showing up on the tarmac at the same time. You'll know me. We Web3 weirdos can see each other. I know it.
Yeah, that's part of the purpose of the swag is like to be undercover, tricked out.
Web3
There we go.
weirdos. I could be a good acronym to put on a shirt. WWW.
I love that. That's amazing.
Welcome, Rika. I've been seeing you be super busy in the ecosystem recently too. Welcome. Glad to see it.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been making my way around the MetaFam. It's been awesome to see all the pieces coming together and to bring insights and knowledge from one project into another. That's how it should be.
That cross pollination is super important, and I don't think enough people emphasize that. We gotta do a little work everywhere. Gotta spread that love, spread that abundance around.
For sure.
So what's up?
That guy.
Alright, I see. Everybody's already here. So that's good. So do we have a host?
Yeah, man.
Or just me?
I'm hosting. Yeah, bro. But we chilling still, waiting for some stragglers, I guess. Like,
Awesome. Perfect. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, bro. Been real busy, but yeah, doing really good. It's productive. Kind of wish like now I do this every year. Like when like ETH Denver or like an event's happening, I'm like, oh, I want to be there. And seeing all these videos and pics and stuff. But yeah, man, it's vibes. Exciting times.
Man, I'm not looking forward to -20.
Oh,
So
bro.
cold as shit over there.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, right now it's -20 at my house, and they're changing my doors out.
Oh, man.
I'm like, you picked the greatest day to change doors. Come
Oh
on.
god, man.
But it's gonna be awesome for sure. I'm still gonna try to come because it's 9 days.
Where are you based?
I'm in St. Louis, so Midwest.
Midwest, so that shouldn't be too far, right?
Not too far. I was looking at round trip tickets for certain days, and it was like 300, 350.
Got it. Cool.
We'll see. We shall see.
Yeah, I made that proposal for 3K for all the trip expenses, and then the flights and accommodation alone is 2.8.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad budget. I mean, it's not a lot of money, honestly. Well, for flying international and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, because also like you have to take 2 flights just to get to Frankfurt and then sleep for a night in Frankfurt and then go to Denver. So it's like, yeah.
You're gonna be worn out before you get there.
And then need to get a proper jacket.
Yes. Yeah, that's what Zeku was just saying. He's coming from Costa Rica, Zeku?
Yes, that is correct.
Happy Friday, everyone. Really happy to be here. Another Friday, and really happy to see Boogie doing the hosting today.
My rib, how you doing, bro? Welcome. Also, welcome, fellas, man. Welcome. See you there, bro. How are you doing, man?
Feeling great, taking my rest, drinking my medicines, and I think that I will be good for the next week. I'm really happy because everything have been like controlled with this, and I'm learning a lot. If you don't have a health crisis, you don't take action of your bad habits. At least for me.
Yeah, nothing but a little crisis to push you forward.
It has been helping me to appreciate more, to be present. I'm always overthinking and, having this mental disorder that sometimes I like to think is that I'm taking charge of things, but it's just overthinking. And looks like also part of the health process I have been having is precisely that anxiety and that overthinking I put to myself. So these days, when I woke up, I don't woke up as it was an emergency. That is what happens to me every day. I just move my fingers and I walk to grab some water, and then I start my day slowly. I think that is one of the things is healing me for real.
Yeah, man, definitely, bro. All got to move at our own pace, and being aware of that is. I mean, you can easily become unaware of like your own pace and try and do more than you can, and we're all trying to do everything. But I don't know. But yeah, I hear you, bro.
And Zaku, you're always permanently in Costa Rica. Are you hosting another meta camp this summer?
Yes, I am. Yes to both. There's Metacamp happening in May, I think. Although really the Meta Cartel folks really took the reins of that. I organized one last year, and they did it this year. So now I get to just show up and not be designing and facilitating, which is nice. But yeah, I live down here full time
Nice.
since about 2 years.
And is that anywhere close to the Give It people? I know
No, they're like
inland.
yeah, they're like in Diamante Vita. They're like 6 hours south of here. So you have to go up and around the peninsula. I live like in the northwest corner on the coast.
Got it.
But meaning to get down there sometime. It seems like they have an awesome thing going down there. Lots of friends with lots of those Give It folks. So we'll meet up at some point.
Yeah, they got a whole village situation going.
They do. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, we'll see. We're hoping we can. We're sort of kicking around ideas with the cabin folks. If folks know Cabin Dao, Neighborhood Zero in Austin, we're talking about the potential for Neighborhood One in Costa Rica to continue building the decentralized city.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that's exciting over the next year. See if we can get energy around that going.
Nice. And do you already have plans? Like, where would you do it? Like somewhere close to your camp?
Yeah, we have a piece of property here that's waiting for something magical to happen on it. So we will maybe cabin will be that thing.
Nice. Cool. And is there many more people living there?
I mean, I live in a village that has about 100 people, and then the big tourist town is like a half hour away. But no, we're kind of out here in the middle of nowhere on the beach.
I mean, like a bunch of crypto people.
Yeah, no, there's like no one here.
Okay.
But we meet, I meet crypto people around. There you walk around Tamarindo, and there's definitely some like Bored Ape folks in Tamarindo, and one guy in particular owns a bar where you can buy a drink with any ERC20 token, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Shout out to
Yeah,
my
I wanna-
guy in Tamarindo for sure. And Hadan.
Yeah, exactly. Go to Sharkies. I want to do a Twitter thread where I'll buy some Cardano just to go in and buy a pint with it, so we can be like, I found the utility of Cardano. It's like a little too. It's a little too. I don't know, a little too mean, but I think it's funny. But yeah, there's definitely I don't know, I could go on all sorts of tangents, but there's some pretty cool stuff happening here around crypto here. We'll get Bitcoin ATMs happening next month, which the government is all sort of behind, but pretty wild. Like an ATM you can just go up to with a phone number and connect your wallet. It's basically like no KYC. Trade Bitcoin for cash and vice versa. So it's happening.
What was the limiting factor for so long? Was it just nobody wanting to do it, or was it the government?
I mean, there's a whole bunch. I don't want to like go down this
Gotcha, yeah, yeah.
rabbit, like take the community down the rabbit hole. But basically, like, how are you? You know, if you're getting cash from the bank to stock the ATMs,
Yeah.
like where is that? You know, where's that cash coming from? You have to do KYC, AML, all this stuff, and they're basically creating like a closed loop system where cash businesses want Bitcoin, they buy it, and then people with Bitcoin can go take that cash out. So it's like a sort of off the official books situation, which is like seems like it would have lots of issues, but like they're doing it. It's signed off and it's happening. So we'll see.
Nice.
Cool.
All right, cool. So it's like 16 minutes in to the amazing call we're experiencing right now. So who would like to go first out of the? Actually, I don't think our third guest speaker is here. So there's two of you. Like, yeah, you guys pick.
I don't mind going first, mate, if that's all right. I might need
Sweet,
to dart
yeah.
off early.
Oh, no worries, mate.
Yeah, that's another British voice. Don't hear many in crypto. Where are you from?
I'm from like I live on the south coast, but I'm from London. Yeah.
Oh, right, nice. Yeah, I'm London-based at the moment.
Hey, nice, bro. You're going to be
Good.
sharing your screen?
No, I'm not actually. Well, I could do, I suppose. Yeah, let's have a chat for now. I might jump in on a desktop and show you some stuff.
No worries, my bro. The floor is yours.
Yeah, nice to meet you all. So yeah, just a bit of a background on us and myself. Actually, I'm a physicist by background. So I did about 10 years in physics and had about 20, and ended up doing about 20 years in academia. So I moved out of physics. I ended up teaching maths for a bit, which is where I discovered cryptography. So I ran a course on number theory and cryptography, discovered Bitcoin super early, and then didn't buy it because I was an academic at the time, and we just watch and observe things, which is a bit disappointing. But yeah, over probably the next several years, I moved into sort of institutional governance research. So I ended up building a decentralized organization in about 2012, 2013 for a few years. And so I was running a decentralized organization when the DAO happened. And yeah, I've just been completely obsessed ever since, because I sort of saw the potential of what decentralized organization. I was shilled on decentralized organization before DAOs. And yeah, since then I've just been kind of on a mission to get into the space and be involved in the DAO wave and making sure, like, trying to push the space forward a little bit. And I jumped in full time in 2020, right in the first few months of the pandemic. I quit my job I was an associate dean at the time at a university, at the London College of Fashion, weirdly enough. And yeah, been in the space full time now for about 3 years. And we started out as a prediction market, ended up building a load of DAO tools for ourselves because the tools that we needed weren't readily available. So we just sort of hacked them all together. And for the last probably about 12 months, we've sort of merged that into Factory Dao. So we're now putting together a kind of modular DAO framework where all these different tools can be stitched together to create a kind of bespoke DAO design. We're kind of fairly well focused on the token economics side of things, so quite DeFi heavy DAO stuff. And yeah, so we've now got about 5 of these products. I'm just throwing together a pitch. We're starting to go out for a raise over the next couple of months and battle our way into getting the money we need to go and do this thing over the next few years. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Yeah, I'll stop there. That was a lot. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want to dig into from that.
Wow, I mean, just simply wow, bro. That's crazy. Like you've been in like crypto for quite some time, and to be to be involved with DAOs before DAOs were even like conceptualized. That's a bit mind blowing, bro. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose everyone who worked in co-op spaces, I consider like that. I was heavily sort of influenced by the whole co-op literature and things like holocracies, and I think everyone who was in that kind of fringe governance design stuff around collective action has been into DAOs before DAOs were a long time. But yeah, I ended up building this decentralized organization. It was my job to get a university full of academics to collaborate with each other and come up with stuff.
Right.
And so yeah, I built this kind of it was a DAO with sub DAOs really, with sub DAOs, where we sort of broke the big problem up of learning and teaching into subdomains, and then so we had like an educational technology sub DAO, if you like, and then that splintered out very organically into like VR and education, mobile learning and education.
Yeah.
And then I built a kind of proposal architecture out of that, and yeah, it worked, man. It was like we went up the university league tables about 70 places in a few years.
Wow.
And at that point I was just max shilled on DAOs and where they could go. And yeah, I had a weird detour into the fashion industry for a few years. I was associate dean at London College of Fashion. And then throughout that period, I was building kind of I was working for all the dodgy ICOs in London.
Oh no, gosh.
Moonlighting, doing token models for, got scammed a load of times by. It was just that I did. Was there anyone around in the ICO era?
A little bit, yeah. That's when I got it. Yeah, 2017. Yeah, that's when I got into crypto.
Oh,
Yeah.
dragged by the
Oh my
DAO.
goodness.
Yeah, it was really wild. It was a mad time. There was like a real sort of rush in London. Like all of a sudden, everyone wanted to do an ICO.
Yeah.
I nearly left academia in 2018, which would have been the worst mistake of my life. I would have got thoroughly rugged if I'd done that. Just as it was all, blew up. Thankfully, I stayed in for another sort of 2-3 years after that. But yeah, so I'm loving it, man. It's high octane, I have to say. This like the life of full-time crypto it's certainly not easy, but it's been fun.
Nice. Yeah, man. I've like the start of last year I went full time into crypto. And yeah, I completely agree with you. It's very high octane and not as like stable as traditional way of life, I guess, or like work life kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, the balance goes, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, and it hasn't helped that like the whole industry's exploded in a ball of flames over the last sort of 18 months. Well, I feel like I'm super bullish still, man. I think we're at the point where DAOs are starting to be taken seriously. I mean, I wanted to do a DAO startup in 2020, but literally no one cared about DAOs in 2020. They sort of the resurgence happened in 21, really. But yeah, like so we started life as a prediction market, and that was the kind of little sneaky way in to getting a raise together because prediction markets were hot at the time because of the Donald Trump election.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we built one. We're still building that, and that's we're super into quadratic voting.
Oh, nice.
So I've been obsessed with quadratic voting since Glenn Wales' paper was released. Actually, I sort of discovered that pre-radical markets in about 2017, I think. I built a quadratic voting app, which I used in the university quite a bit, and yeah, I'm just totally convinced quadratic voting is like gonna really change democracy. It's a really important technology. So a lot of what we've done at Factory Dao. So I'll quickly whiz through what we've built. We've got 5 apps that are production ready at the moment. We've got one which is called Bank, which is basically like a token distribution, token vesting thing, which we built predominantly to stop the rug pulls. So a big part of what we're trying to do is, I see DAOs as the path to fixing all the trust models that we've got, all the trust issues, in the sense that I think I found some research not long ago that 97.7% of tokens launched on Uniswap rugged within days, weeks.
Yeah.
So we've clearly got a massive problem there, and we've built these things to essentially create a little game theoretic equilibrium where the team just have to perform in order to win. So yeah, the bank basically locks in token emissions, so no one has to at Genesis. So the whole, the pie chart and the token emissions into the future is locked and relatively unchangeable. Then we've got a sort of token launching system, which is a bit like Copper Launch, if anyone's used that. It's a paradigm called these gradual Dutch auctions. GDAs, I call it an exponential token auction. We built that about 2.5 years ago to launch our token, and then kind of shelved it because the launchpad game was so scammy, and I just thought I do not want to get into the token issuance piece unless I've got a massive legal budget to stop me going to jail.
Definitely.
But yeah, so what that one does, it basically, all the launchpad tokens just were pump and dumps, right? They're just like low float up the AMM curve, and all the insiders dump out on the top, and then they just bleed out for forever at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, Launch does an auction, a batch auction of the tokens, finds a listing price, and bootstraps the liquidity on an AMM. So it's a liquidity bootstrapping system. So that allows DAOs to basically launch their own tokens, so they can mint some tokens to their multi-sig or Moloch DAO or whatever they want to do, and then send them directly to this auction contract and bootstrap a market. And it's all non-custodial and totally decentralized. Then we've got a kind of liquidity mining system where a DAO can control how much it pays for liquidity. So it a lot of liquidity mining stuff, they either spaff tokens into the market way too quickly and just diluted everyone, and they last about 2-3 weeks and it's all over. Or they just turn off and then all the liquidity runs away, just moves off elsewhere, and then they're left with no depth after the tokens have gone. And this system, it uses Harberger taxes actually, which is to try and solve a bit of the problems around liquidity mining, and it lets a DAO control it. And that's our kind of fungible token launch stack. And then we spent most of the time over the last 9 months or so, we've been building NFT minting stuff. So we're super into NFT governance, and a big part of our mission is to essentially move decentralized governance away from pure plutocratic power. So, like the rich run everything.
Yeah.
So we're into
type of vibes.
Say that again, Nate? Sorry.
Like proof of stake, how that kind of operates on some networks.
Sort of. It's
so kind
of more like so we've got one coin, one vote stuff. It's basically, that's how most of the DAOs run at the moment, and they end up all kind of cornered. Like I was looking at the Compound voting system. They've got 280,000 token holders and 30 people turn up to vote, and it's like A16Z, Paradigm, Polychain, some universities. So what we've built is, with NFT governance, you can theoretically give 1,000 people one token each, and you've got perfect egalitarian governance at that point. And you can, because it's non-fungible governance, you can then start giving each individual a different voting balance. So we use quadratic voting, so you get 100 voting credits. But this person, because they've done work in the DAO, might get 400 voting credits assigned to their NFT. Yeah. So it opens up the kind of reputation layer. And our capstone product is we call Influence, which is, it's like Snapshot. It's a kind of Us and Snapshot went off in a different direction about sort of 18 months ago, and we're heavily focused on NFT governance and dialogue formation, stuff like that. And that's basically like where we're at now. We've got those 5 things, and we're just kind of getting in a position where we want to build a protocol that stitches them all together. And so we can have fully permissionless DAO launch. So everything's, you know, fully like Uniswap for DAOs, basically.
Yeah. Man, that's so cool. Like, I'm just imagining like the interface, like just click in, bam, you got a DAO. Like, that's how
Yeah,
it's crazy.
that's the idea. It's the you can check them out if you go to like bank.factorydao.org or influence.factorydao.org. They're all on. You can jump into them on our website on factorydao.org. Yeah, we're super happy with where we're at. It's been challenging. I would say we were about 2-3 years ahead of the market. Like, no one cared about fair launches. No one cared about not pump and dumping a token. No one really cared about DAOs full stop. But I think I think now everyone's gone through the pain of watching the space blow up. People are ready for some of these more intricate solutions to the problem, I think.
Definitely. Oh man. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I didn't really particularly come to like shill Factory DAO or anything. I just, if there's anything else, any DAO stuff people wanted to talk about, or if there's anything anyone's interested in, we can just riff on that.
I have a question for you, Dr. Nick.
Cool, man.
When you want to, when you're talking to people about DAOs, like what is the DAO you point to as like, here's one that's really working? Like who's your sort of, do you have a list of where you're like, when you're trying to explain to people what's possible, who do you point to as like, as examples?
It's a good question. I literally had this job recently with a bunch of lawyers. I'm sat on this, it's called the Financial Markets Law Committee. And it's like, there's me and a dude from MakerDAO and about 25 lawyers who are putting together this, you know, what's the DAO legislation going to be for the UK? And the examples I gave them, I'm a big fan of Yearn. You know, I think Drake introduced us actually. And I got sort of involved in talking to them around their governance formation piece. And I just love Yearn. So Yearn's one of the ones that I think are super interesting. I think it's a proper DAO. It's like one of the purest DAOs in a sense, because it's, you know, it's not got these foundation legal wrapper structure. It's an unincorporated DAO. It's a kind of Hydra type structure with lots of different, you know, subcomponents and very DeFi. So a big fan of Yearn. But again, the governance of Yearn still, it's like very delegated. It's yeah, I think there isn't one that I don't think we've had like the DAO that we go, that's a DAO, right? That's going to be amazing. But like MakerDAO as well is just a hugely impressive thing. Massive fan of that. What else is there? I think Uniswap's getting interesting. I think mostly like only recently when people have been battling it over the deployment of the protocol, has that turned into a real governance token. But yeah, it's getting there. What about you, Zach? What do you say to that question?
I don't. That's why I was asking you.
Yeah. It depends on who. Sometimes they say they're all bad.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many that I think are really compelling. You know, I always point to like Cabin and Kraus House as two that I think are extremely compelling. Kraus House especially.
Yes.
You know, shout out to Metagame as well. Like, there's people doing really cool experiments. And you know, trying to understand what to do with this form. But I just think of like I was a sustainability consultant for a long time and did all of this work in sustainability and you know, governance and organizational structure, and like you could always point to Patagonia. It's like, well, what's possible? You know, what does best in class look like? It's like, look at Patagonia, like consistently performing the market and like doing amazing stuff. You know, like who's the teal organizations? Well, it's these. Here's the examples. And when it gets to a DAO, it's like, you know, I hate to say we're so early, but here we are so early. But we don't really, we have like the potential, but I still haven't found the DAO that I can point to that's like, you know, this is what we're talking about. Those experiments are good. So I'm always curious to hear from folks. Yeah, that's the question. It's like, when are we going to have that thing that it's like, when people are saying like, this seems weird or complicated or whatever, that like, what can a DAO do that a company can't?
Yeah,
we have tons of theories, but we don't have the concrete example yet.
yeah, totally, man. I think I agree. I very, very similar sort of perspective. I think I've said before, we've either got, you know, 5,000 DAOs or we've got none. Like, and there's going to be I think what we've been missing is, I think compounds that close to that is what the problem is. It's like so cornered. It's practically a multi-sig. So that, like, what we need is mechanisms of using tokens to actually govern a nexus of smart contracts that's genuinely participatory across like a vast group of people. It needs to feel like a democracy, like a digital democracy. Or a genuine collective, at the very least. I don't think everything needs to come to voting, but I think when we see a DAO that feels like many hundreds of people making a collective decision and moving as a kind of collective, I think that's when we start to feel like a DAO. And for that, we need these governance mechanisms where you can't. Most people are excluded from DAO governance because they're not rich. You can't just like, you know, $2 million into. I think you'd need something like $80 million to even have a chance of influencing a compound decision. And that's just to even register on the radar. So we need mechanisms where, you know, everyday people can come in and get involved and work together and it move into this kind of non-financial governance realm.
Yeah, I don't know how we can say we're building new systems if you literally have to be rich to influence them.
Yeah.
Like, wait, isn't that what we're trying to fix?
It's like quite the opposite. If anything, we've like invented a new form of like hyper-capitalism, of like we found the pinnacle of plutocracy of so yeah, I think it's time to dial it back from that and find new ways of doing it. Yeah, I think that and the decision-making tools need to improve. At the moment, we're kind of doing everything on like yes/no decisions. Like, should we do this? Yes or no? And normally the person saying, should we do this? Is like the leader of the DAO or whatever. And most people just go, yeah, go on then. Because I'm not empowered enough to be able to, come up with a different decision or have the resources to be able to do some other alternative thing. So I think we need better like consensus formation tools, social consensus tools to be able to properly say we all want to do this. So I think I think we've just been largely missing the tooling, which is kind of what we've been trying to get into. And the other sort of challenging bit is that you can have some really great tools, but the space is so noisy. Like you also need millions of dollars of marketing budget to even get people to even know about you, which is another sort of big challenging piece of it. So we're also there's a huge signal to noise problem in the space where the really good, interesting stuff gets drowned out by, you know, just real scammy stuff and dog money and things like that. So I think the space just needs to mature, and it's communities like this that make me really bullish on it. And, you know, last time I saw Zach was at DAO Camp and hung around with like 60 odd DAO leaders out there and just thought, yeah, this is going to change everything. But it's just such a minority part of the space at the moment. But I do think it's going to change. I think people are going to get really excited about DAOs over the next couple of years.
I think so too. Yeah, mass adoption is slowly
Right.
flourishing.
It's really a minority of a minority of a minority. There's the crypto space, which is not very big, and then
Yeah.
there's the DAO space, and then of the DAO space, most of it is like token voting and not very cool DAOs, and then you have
Mhm.
a really small subset of DAOs that are actually innovating and actually trying to build this better future rather than hyper-capitalist organizations.
Yeah, totally. It is. It's certainly a fringe idea. I think, like Zach said, it is super early, and one of the challenges we've got with DAOs is everyone said like, "Oh, DAOs will never work. Look at this. You know, look at this huge failure or mistake that this DAO made or whatever," and then everyone just gives up on it. So we're at that kind of DAOs will never work phase of the market. But yeah, I just think I think we'll see some DAOs that have real world impact. I think Cabin DAO is just a brilliant example of a DAO doing like real world roots stuff. And I think that's probably the thing that the world needs to see to really start to get it is like, real world connection to DAO stuff.
Do you think there's an interesting intersection that could be built between NFTs and DAOs? Specifically, the thing I'm most interested in is like the power of culture building in NFT projects and how that might be like a pathway to creating these sub DAOs and subcultures and like the mental infrastructure of how a DAO is supposed to work. That's a little like fuzzy, but then just putting it in a cartoon wrapper and a cultural wrapper with an NFT project.
Yeah, totally. I mean, so we've had NFTs as our governance tokens since like 2020. Like I was just being sold on NFTs as the medium for people to express their identity in a DAO and the route into reputation. So I think actually the real DAO wave will start with NFTs. We've actually been doing a lot of work with the Palm network for the last few months, which is basically the NFT chain. It's like a consensus backed. It's the thing that did the Damien Hirst token. They're launching their token later in the year, and yeah, our whole thing with them is around SBT governance. They call them proof of contributions, and I think it's very much about culture and curation. So if you look at palmdao.app, you'll see our governance tools there. Yeah, if you've traded any NFTs, by the way, go and pick up a OG POC on palmdao.app. That'll be a good idea to do. And then what we've built there is a mechanism for essentially funding artists. So I think DAOs are a huge part of DAO. The real outreach DAO governance will be moving away from this really esoteric monetary theory games you get in DeFi into the culture formation, curation stuff. So things like art competitions and meme competitions and design competitions and things like that, I really think are going to be, where people can feel like they've got a real opinion. It's much more accessible, and genuinely feel like they're co-creating because they can actually fund an artist to go and make something. So yeah, I absolutely think that NFT intersection is where we break out, actually.
Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah. I couldn't have said it more. Yeah.
Nice, man. I think that's my slot. I don't want to take up too much time. But yeah.
No, you good, bro. You good, man.
Nice, man.
Thank you
Well,
again.
yeah, no worries. Any sort of last questions or anything, or anyone else want to jump in?
Will you be in Denver?
Do you know what? I'm not, and I'm super gutted about it. I was gutted about it last year, and I've just been too busy, annoyingly. Just like I've been, just in one of those sort of 70, 80 hour week phases, and thinking, no, I can't have a week out at the moment, and yeah, gutted about it. So, not in Denver. Absolutely, I'm getting bad FOMO.
I'm only going because of work, but you'll be at MetaFest, so that's good.
Yeah.
I will. Yes, yes. I love Croatia as well. I haven't been for years, but yeah, I spent several summers in Croatia in my 20s and absolutely love the place.
Awesome. Yeah, well, thank you for coming on, and looking forward to meeting in person.
Yeah, absolutely. Same. And yeah, thanks very much for inviting me on. I popped in briefly last week. It's a lovely community you've got here. I think it's something special brewing here.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty. Thank you once again, Dr. Nick, for enlightening us about your adventures with FactoryDAO.org. It's really amazing stuff, broski.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome, my bro. And Zaku, I believe you're our speaker for Coordinape. You're the ape whisperer at Coordinape, I believe.
At one time, yeah, and we kind of all do everything, as I'm sure you all are well versed in. We all do everything at Coordinape, although I don't code and don't know how, and I've never written a line of code. And don't necessarily recommend co-founding a software product if you don't know how software works.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So
it's
much
a
agreement
fairly
there.
it's a fairly vertical learning curve. But doing our best. And I mean, like Dr. Nick, I don't have prepared remarks. I think just hearing what he was talking about and where the conversation is, like I'm definitely down to extol my point of view on DAOs and collaboration and where all of this is heading. But I'm also, as y'all are users of Coordinape, I'm also like most keen to get any questions, thoughts, feedback, criticism, etc. From y'all about Coordinape or your experience using it. I guess for folks that I don't know or haven't met, I came to this space a couple of years ago, and previously my work for the last 8 years was Converge.net. And we were a consulting group that helped people launch impact networks. So like you have people saying like, how do we steward 500,000 acres of redwoods, right? When you have lots of different landowners with lots of different competing priorities and ideas about what stewardship means and what should we do about climate change and trespassing, etc. And so we would get them all together. And how I look at it now is we were really forming IRL DAOs, right? We'd have 40 people from, logging CEOs and ranchers and forest activists and the tribes and land trust, CAL FIRE, etc., all in the room really figuring out like where are the leverage points where we actually agree that we can make a difference in things. And so did that work sort of all over the world, worked with small farmers in Africa, worked on, migrant rights across borders all through Central America, racial justice in New York City, and these impact networks were kind of my obsession and collaboration more broadly. Before that, like I said, I was a sustainability consultant, and I'd be working with these, executives doing supply chain stuff. And it's like, man, how come the more smart people you get in a room, the dumber their decisions are? So that's really what led me down this path of collaboration. 2 years ago, when I sort of stumbled into crypto and DAOs, I'd always heard of it, but I always kind of thought, oh, crypto, that's just it's just like a speculation casino. And it turns out I was like 99% correct and still am. But that 1% is what we're here for, and hopefully growing. But yeah, I reconnected. I knew Trake before he was Trake in real life and different projects, and I reconnected with Trake on Discord, not knowing that he was Trake, or that he was this person I already knew, and we were totally jamming and like trading ideas. And it's like, who is this? Who is this person? It's like, it turns out we knew each other pretty well. But anyway, he was at the core team at Yearn, and I started contributing at Yearn, really doing just thinking about like organization, information flow, governance, that kind of stuff. And that's where Coordinape was born, was really addressing this need that Jörn had, is how do we do decentralized compensation and payment. So yeah, big shout out to Jörn. And I recognize DeFi Glenn the Owl from super OG Coordinape days. He might be like, if not the first, the first handful of circles and epics ever run on Coordinape. Super OG status. So yeah, that's how Coordinape sort of started, and since then we've sort of been off and running, and are really trying to figure out, the DAO landscape and where and how we can best contribute to it. So yeah, that's kind of me. Coordinape, my ambitions for DAOs. The other stuff I do in the DAO landscape is, like Dr. Nick said, I organize DAO camp, where we take over a summer camp outside of Austin, meta camp here in Costa Rica. So I hope that DAOs are a movement. And I know if you study the history of movements, it always starts with small groups of people and deep one-on-one relationships that form the core of something. And so that's, to me, what's really important right now in the ecosystem, is that we really weave relationships together so that we have staying power, and we can face all this different adversity we're going to face as we try to create new systems that have some hope of navigating the Anthropocene. So welcome your Coordinape questions. That's my spiel.
Yeah, does anyone have any questions about Coordinape or any feedback? Anyone in our circles?
Yeah, is there anyone? Great.
Okay, so in our system, what we are doing is we have a two-tiered distribution where the top tier decides what percentages of the token are going to go to the various guilds. And then within the guilds, their percentages are then distributed to the members of the guild. It's just right now it's difficult to use Coordinape's data structures because it's difficult to figure out which epochs go together. Like, we have to be very careful about setting the dates to be the same, or to follow a particular pattern, in order to know that in this epoch, this is the top tier and these are the guild tiers, and this is how the token should be distributed. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Have you had other organizations talking about like a two-tiered system like this? And is there any possibility of supporting it?
So I haven't heard of people using this specific two-tiered system. Sometimes people use like basically other governance methods to sort of decide what allocations different circles are going to get. I know that we just shipped a pretty significant upgrade to the epoch timer, so that it's a lot easier and cleaner to use. But that being said, like, what I'd love for you to do is to DM me on Discord to better understand, like, just to better understand this specific use case and how you guys want to do it, and see if there's a way, either through setup or through some tweaks, some features we might be able to put together, whether we can support exactly what you needed to do. That's kind of the phase we're in now, is really just responding to the needs people have, and trying to understand all the different use cases and what are the ones where it really works. Because people are trying all sorts of really interesting stuff with Coordinape. And so this sounds like something too, and would love to actually spend a little bit more time digging into it.
Okay, yeah, my interest, the next project that I'm hoping to work on is the integration of Coordinape, or a Coordinape-like system, into SourceCred, so that because we distribute an XP token, and currently Coordinape is outside of that distribution. And if we could feed the data into SourceCred, then people could be getting rewarded in the same way.
Okay. Yeah, there's also it'd be worth talking about the Discord bot that we're about to ship. has a lot of SourceCred like features, integrations with Discord, so that you can actually give with emojis and with commands directly in Discord, stuff like that.
Ooh,
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely like to hear about how you're thinking about those integrations as well. I guess a few other, as long as we're kind of talking about roadmap, a cool other things that are coming up with Coordinape is in the next couple months, we're going to launch CoSoul, which is a non-transferable NFT that will be able to take your give on chain. So basically right now, you're getting this give, which is a pretty high signal reputational marker that you know how to add value to DAOs. And so you'll be able to mint a CoSoul, and then that CoSoul will basically, at every epoch, it will take the give that you received and be able to put it on chain, attach it to this non-transferable NFT. So it's kind of an experiment for us, instead of taking the entire thing on chain, which just isn't possible right now with Epics, but sort of trying out a move on chain, because people have been accumulating this give, which is a really valuable signal both inside and outside your various orgs. So and already some sort of interesting ideas that people have of using on-chain give as reputational markers. You'll be able to gate circles within your DAO to only people who have received so much give through guild and stuff like that. So pretty excited about that development, to take give on chain and start to build that reputation piece. And it will be retroactive. So all the give that you've received so far, you'll be able to mint directly to your CoSoul. And they're pretty cool NFTs. They're generative. They kind of have that mycelium sort of vibe, and they branch out and get more complex the more give you got. They're pretty cool.
Whoa. You just blew me away there, broski. Oh my goodness.
Well, good. Get ready to go mint your CoSouls. It's gonna be fun. We're also looking at the potential for, and this is something we're kind of soliciting feedback from users right now. Is we're also thinking about, so as we talk to users, it's like, what are your favorite parts of Coordinape? The notes are consistently like what people really love. They love getting like direct feedback from people about things they've done that are impactful. And so we're also looking at ways that basically each epoch you'll have a special, like an attestation, but it's more like we're calling it code name. This won't be what it's called, but like I call it a golden give, where like someone that's really crushed it this month, and you can send them an attestation, like a note basically, and then and also using a AI generative illustrator, send someone like a generative NFT and this attestation that they can mint as sort of like a hopefully way cooler version of like employee of the month, or just like someone did something.
Mhm.
Someone did something you think is super awesome, and you just want to recognize them for it. You can recognize them for it on chain, and you have a limited number of these to give, so they're special.
Exclusive, yeah.
To some degree.
Mm,
Yeah.
definitely.
So we're gonna be playing with that in the next few months as well, to see if that's something people want to use.
It sounds like something I'd use, yeah.
I have a question. Do you have like an organization-wide view of the circles in plan? I know that the old landing page had like an illustration that was showing like different circles all in a single kind of map. But
Yep, that is there's a current sprint running on that right now. So we'll be shipping that with or before CoSoul. So yeah, it's kind of a fundamental change, and right now you really only see Coordinape the circle that you're in. You don't see all the circles that are happening in your org. You don't have any insight into them, and we're basically changing that entire architecture so that the basic unit of architecture is you come in, you'd look at metagame, and you'd be able to see all the different circles, even the ones that you're not necessarily don't have give for. But it's going to look a lot more like a dashboard. It'll have kind of an activity feed of the different contributions things are doing, or teams are doing, individuals are doing. And it's just a way to get more people, engaged and involved in the DAO. Because right now, like if you're not getting compensated, there isn't really anything for you to do on Coordinape, but there is a lot of, really useful context and information there. And then, we're thinking about, there's a lot of issues to solve for it, but also thinking about like eventually how can we start having uncompensated give? Because, at this stage, most people working for DAOs are not working for them for the money. They're really working for them because they want to get involved in the space, or they're really hyped on what, some community or DAO is doing. And they want, recognition, reputation, credibility. They want to learn more than like, I want to get paid. And so how can Coordinape really support those people? And, you can give them give and props and they can build their reputation. It just doesn't translate to tokens. So we're really excited about that possibility, but also, obviously there's certainly ways that could get gamed or ways that could get watered down. And part of the power of Coordinape is it is, it's attached to tokens or resources. It has some kind of weight to it. There's stakes. And if just anyone kind of give to anyone for anything, we don't want it to be watered down in that way. So we're trying to figure it out, but we think there's a real opportunity there for building reputation, and in a way that's very peer-to-peer and subjective. There's obviously a ton of awesome projects out there doing, reputation or I did this bounty, I did this thing, but it's that peer-to-peer recognition of like, hey, this person brings value that doesn't necessarily have to show up in the code. And that's the role we see ourselves playing.
I wanted to ask real quick about access to historical information through the UI. Like I've been pulling stuff out of Hasura, but is it likely that we'll be able to see it in the Coordinape?
Oh, we have to. It's killing me. I feel your pain. It drives me nuts.
Please.
Like, why can I not just click on the old Epic and see everything?
Right.
This is a question I'm asking as well. So, you have to be able to do that. We have to have that information at our fingertips, and hopefully start to have it be, searchable and get some analytics capability so that you can start to look at like give trends over time and contributions over time, and see animated maps as they evolve. Like all that kind of stuff, I think is really important. And we're a really small little bear market team. So, we're like everyone, I'm sure can relate to like trying to balance the 5,000 priorities. But yeah, I agree 100%. That needs to be possible.
How soon do you see the dashboard happening?
I mean, we're doing 6-week product sprints, and that's, it's happening now. So I don't know. I think I heard somewhere like the worst thing you can ever do is promise something in public, especially a timeline, especially when I do not represent the devs. So I'm gonna go with soon, TM, as the answer to when we can see that. Yeah. But I can tell you that there is, it's actively being worked on right now. It's not just someday. It's in the pipeline.
That's good. Cool. Yeah, I would love to be able to see the data and the contributions, and then plug it into our own dashboard at some point.
Yeah, for sure. I think we see a lot of potential, and a lot of teams are excited about like how we might learn about the data. And honestly, like I feel like we could do so much more with that map and that visualization and starting to understand value flows in the DAO. Right now it's just given, but there's a lot of different data, and there's a lot of different stuff that we could basically make that visual map a lot more layered and compelling. And that's something we talk about a lot that we want to do someday as well. But yeah, I also just am throwing out there that I've been leading for several DAOs, like debriefs and sort of talking about the results. We're developing like a pulse survey you'll be able to deploy, so that like right after the epic, you're basically just checking in with folks, like, how was that? Was it fair? How did you feel? How did you feel about the overall distribution? Part of the origins of Coordinape was that at my old company, I was talking about Converge from the day we started it. We never had anyone on payroll. We were all individual, independent entities. Again, it was definitely like DAO like in structure. And we would invoice clients for projects, and then we'd put the money in the middle of the table and have a conversation about like who should get what based on what they did. And one of the things we learned is that the conversation is as valuable, if not more valuable, than the allocation. And so really trying to experiment with, find ways to bring that to DAOs, which is obviously harder given, async, pseudonymous, time zone, all this stuff. You can't have sort of a weekly all circle meeting. But we're trying to run experiments with like, how can we get that real debrief element, because that's what kind of creates the positive flywheel from a cultural standpoint of like people appreciating each other, getting feedback, having hard conversations when you need to have them, and moving through. So that's another thing that I think about a lot and want to prototype more of.
It's super valuable.
Yeah. So if there's any other thoughts, questions, feel free to jump in here, but also, feel free to come find me at the Coordinape Discord. Come find me on Twitter. Always like, with total DAO geek. This is like all I ever want to talk about. So I'm always down for thoughts, questions, and ideas.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, really appreciate it, guys. And see a lot of y'all in Denver.
Yes.
Oh yeah, a lot of us
Talk
for
a lot
sure.
more about this.
Yeah, I'll turn my camera on and show her. This is what I look like. So if you see me, come say hey.
Yo.
That's useful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you save one shirt for me and Abe? I'm thinking about coming the 28th, so we'll see.
Snap Alpha.
Yeah, buddy.
Wait, so it looks like Anna K from Refi Spring is with us. Welcome.
Hey, hi. Nice to be back.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're grateful. We're grateful. But yeah, hope your week's been going well. Like and today, how's today going? What's up? It's been a minute.
Yeah, I'm so happy it's Friday. I cannot even describe it. Like I just ended a piece of content I had to write and I started crying because it was like, oh my god, such a giant burden just disappeared. So I'm so
Yeah.
ready for the weekend,
Oh yeah, I feel that. That's what's up. Oh man. Oh. So yeah, you're gonna be talking about Refi Spring
Yeah.
whenever you're ready. The floor is yours.
Cool. Thank you so much, Boogie.
You're welcome.
Yes. So, hi, I'm Anna. I am a fellow metagame player, but I started working full time at Refi Spring in January. At the moment, we have some grants applications open till the 3rd of March. So I thought it would be nice to come here and just tell you what we are doing, what we are working on, and maybe how we could support your Refi event if you would consider organizing one. So Refi Spring was born as a support platform group for organizing in real life refi events all over the world. We're very grateful for the generosity of Climate Collective, Region Network, and Gitcoin grants, because during the past year, we were able to support financially 27 refi events all over the world. And it has been a very inspiring journey because the events were mostly local events, gathering small groups of people, small groups of regions, and spreading the word about refi and regenerative way of living to groups that maybe were not really informed about that before. So we don't only offer grants, like we don't work like a financial bank that will give you money and do your event. We also have a full-on support system for our grantees. So when you are selected between all the applications, what you get is not only the financial support, but a full toolkit and a full support from our team in the organization of the event. So here we're talking about support with marketing, with communication, with choosing a venue, creating the tickets, the logistics, the schedule for your event. There is a lot of work going on behind the event, and we want to be there for event organizers to, well, fully support them. And we encourage really to use AI and organize a local event. It doesn't need to be something giant like, I don't know, an Ethereum conference. These events are meant to be more intimate, more like smaller groups of people talking about the topic of regeneration. And even if you are a first-time event organizer, you are very welcome, because we try to encourage people from different backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds and parts of the world to apply, even though you are first-time event organizers. So at the moment, we have our registration for Spring Season 2 open until the 3rd of March. I can send maybe the link for applying for this type of grants. And to apply, it's very simple. You don't need to now have a super clear idea of like the structure of your event, or having a very structured budgeting and everything. The questions are very simple. We encourage you to apply with your idea, and then we guide you through some of the crucial steps to be determined for the organization of your refi event. I will put here in the chat the Twitter and the website that we have right now. And in a moment, I will also post the grant application one. So something new that has happened 10 days ago is that we merged officially with Refi Dao. So this is something important to say, because we are slowly transitioning from being Refi Spring to becoming the Refi Event Organizer Guild as part of Refi Dao. And I will give you an alpha here about something that will be announced during ETH Denver. We will be launching a system of the Refi Local Node Incubator. I will not say more than that, but it's kind of a step further from what Refi Spring is, because we want the in real life events to be like seeds for the creation of local startups that will then bring to something more exciting. But I cannot say more than that. So wait for the announcement that is coming during ETH Denver. We'll have John Ellison from Refi Dao there, and we'll also have an article about that. But it's a big thing coming out. I think it's the biggest thing for both of us, from Refi Spring and Refi Dao. And I would encourage, if you are someone who wants to be an advocate for the refi movement in your local community, to keep an eye on what's coming, because we really do value the hard work and the interest and the ambition of being a catalyst for the refi movement. So I said a lot of stuff. I will just send also the link where you can apply for a Refi Spring event support. I also know that Metagame applied for something, for one. So it was very exciting to see that. And yeah, hopefully we'll see a Refi Spring Refi event in Croatia as well. And that's all from me. Thank you so much.
Holy mackerel, you just dropped like the biggest alpha bomb of the day. Whoa. Well, everyone that spoke said some profound. I don't know. I'm just rambling. I can't believe what I've just heard. But thank you again, Anna, for speaking today, as well as Dr. Nick, who had to leave earlier, and Saku. Thank you guys. You guys rock. I like it when there's like 3 speakers at a community call. Feel a little bit extra special, It's the length, I guess. But I digress and ramble, Does anyone have any questions?
I got the permission to drop the alpha bomb. Otherwise, I could get an
Yeah.
emoji.
Oh snap!
But this was with the permission.
Great. That's good. That's good. I like to hear that. We don't want no one to get in trouble for exciting people. That's what an absurd thing. I'm just helping my child with something. But yeah, does anyone have any questions for Anna or anything they want to say? Anything at all? The time.
I think that I said everything, so people don't have any doubts. So it's flattering. But yeah, I just wanted to
For
say
sure.
thank you so much for having me, and very cool. Hope to see more applications for Refi, for the organization of Refi events in your local community.
Refi and regeneration is the whole reason I got into crypto, so it's definitely pumped to hear it and engaged with potentially running a local node, because that sounds like the vibe 100%.
Yeah, and it's a huge thing. And I think, yeah, it will be very inspiring because we'll see the Refi movement going a step forward. So yeah, I'm also excited to see the response from the community once it's out.
Nice. Well, there you have it, folks. Another amazing Town Hall community gathering here in Metagame. Woo! Thank you. I really hope everyone has a great weekend. If you're going to Denver, live it up. I hope everyone has a good time at the moment. It's vibes. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, like I said earlier, like if anyone has anything to say, just go for it. Just if you want to yell the word pineapple, by all means. Yeah, I'm gonna say pomegranate. I like pomegranates because superfood and all that. But yeah. Oh yeah.
Tengo un código básico para tus hábitos tóxicos, para cambiarte el sonido, para moldearte el oído. Tengo un bálsamo ácido, dulce como la realidad, para cambiarte por dentro, para ir sacando el feo. Sueño que tengo la última palabra en esta historia. El infinito de aquel día quedó en mi memoria. ¿Cómo hay que saber? A veces sientes todo un batallón, a veces la hormiga ruge al león, a veces Marte saca su color. ¿Cómo hay que saber? No todo siempre se hace menester, y lo sagrado siempre ha de estar, así nosotros no podamos ver. Sueño que tengo la última palabra en esta historia. El infinito de aquel día quedó en mi memoria.
Thank you. Oh, I
Thank
love
you.
Happy
do that.
Friday!
Happy Friday! Oh man. Obrigado. Thank you. Auto Bodhi. I like watermelons too. Yeah, that's like a signature outro for Fridays. I love it. You guys take it easy. Stay blessed and stay frosty.
Stay blessed and
Take it
frosty.
easy.
Oh
Thank you for
yeah.
hosting.
No worries, anytime, man. Do. Everyone's going to have a lovely weekend.
Oh man, Autobody has got some sick Blender worlds that he's working on. They're incredible. I just checked out his Twitter.
Oh really? Oh, I'm gonna have to go do that now.
Yeah.
Well, you have me at Blender.